In this lecture, we'll learn how to get recognized. After you build your brand, uh, you need to, showcase what you have done, and you need to showcase it to the right people and build a bond also within your community, so that you're in touch with each other, and people recognize you that okay, this is a person who is doing something in football analytics. And if something comes to them, maybe they can refer you the okay, maybe they will ask you to send your work to someone. It's networking, like standard. So okay, the bottom line here for this particular section is publish and contribute. Now, one thing, like I said, is publishing and getting your work recognized by others. And the other part is recognizing the work that other people do and contribute to it. Either ask them questions if it is too advanced for you, maybe, get some queries in that, okay, how you can contact them, how did you get this graph done? Or even, this is an interesting thought. Just a comment also. It doesn't have to be questions always. It doesn't have to be criticism. It can be just a comment that, okay, I like this. This is heading in a good direction. And maybe if you have some counter questions, you can ask that also. Right? So contribute in that way, not just unilaterally by publishing your articles and telling people to read, but also read others, read what others have done, and talk to them, or just read. Even reading also will help you learn. Sounds. Even if you don't like uh, social media personally, maybe come up with a name that you would give your company or your account, like Analytics Joe, or Football Joe, or Football Analytics something, right? Your name. If you are not comfortable sharing your name, make a pseudonym that people will recognize that this is analytics. He's a football analytics guy. She is a football analytics gal, and so on and so forth. So even if you don't have personal accounts, it's okay, but do create something for for your work, to publish your work. Maybe a blog name or something of that sort will work. And also keep a GitHub account, be it R, be it Python. Uh, so I would still recommend you do not go through with Excel. You can have Excel. You need to have Excel knowledge. You can start with it, but later, as you move on, you need to pick, you don't need to pick, but you need to go into R and Python and programming in general, right? So you need to have a GitHub account, because you need to show your work, not just in terms of your output, but also how you got to that output. Like in maths in school, you need to show your calculations before you get the answer. When you show your answer, the teacher also asks that how did you calculate, how did you reach this answer? So in the same way, you kind of need to show your programming skills also. So that is one of the reasons you need to have your GitHub account. Then I would say, see, like I said, you need to pick up problems to solve, or a piece of analysis to do. Pick up some current debate topics, like right in the concluded season, Listen Kolako was, people say, the find of the find of ISL 7. Check it out. If you have the data, do that, right? Or if you say that uh, Bengaluru FC did not qualify for the first time, you want to know, is there any difference in the performance just in terms of goals scored and goals, conceded in the previous seasons and this season? Check that out. Right? Make a bar graph and see, okay, maybe this is something, and this is an area that can be explored more. Maybe then you can put up a follow-up topic that, okay, I explored this area and this is what I found. So you keep building. It's not just that one piece of analysis. Everything is connected. You find one piece and you dig deeper. You find one piece of analysis, you dig deeper, right? So do post and publish on current topics. That's where the conversation is, in circles, in communities. And that's when, if something like your article comes up across someone's eyes or desk, then you'll be recognized. Like I said, be reactive. Read other people's blogs and help them out if you can. or just put some comments that okay, this is interesting, have you thought to look at it from this angle, or just that this is interesting, I liked reading this. That's it. Keep interacting, keep in touch with everyone, in not like personally, but through comments and intellectually, basically, analytically. Now we come to the part 2 for the application, that is apply to jobs, apply to openings, apply to people, just write to them. It doesn't have to be a job opening. If you know that this person is the hiring manager or just a manager or technical director of some club or some organization, write to them and say, I'm interested, this is what I've done so far, any feedback or further any chance of a job opening would be really appreciated, something of that sort. So the bottom line is here, keep applying. You need to keep pushing your work onto other people's desks, computers, screens, basically, that this is what I've done. If you can review it, just check it out whether you find it interesting. Is there anything else? Is there any improvement? Did you like it? And so on and so forth. But application in this sense doesn't always mean that you start with I'm only looking for a job, right? Because there are it's still growing and there might not be job openings always. So you, of course, in the end you say that whenever there's a job opening, please keep me in consideration and so on and so forth. But keep writing to them and showcasing your work even after you have written once. Maybe go back when you have done a more advanced analysis and say that okay, I improved on that and this is where I currently am at. Maybe then something will shake. I would say create an email template and keep in terms of having a structure. This is like having a function in Python where, or a variable in Python where you can reuse it again and again, and just change a few things to apply it somewhere else, or to write to someone else. So keep those templates handy just in case, because you won't always be in that headspace to write the exact same email every time, right? And you'll have to find the one that you sent and all those things. So keep templates in drafts, and it'll help you help in reusability. And attach your work always, because like I said, in the football industry, the educational qualifications and background, what subjects you have learned in college matters a lot less, and what matters more is the work that you are currently doing or have done so far, right? So attach your best work. Find 2-3 articles which or you feel that these are the best ones that I can showcase to a prospective employer. Attach those things. Do not attach everything that you have done, because it will just confuse, and they may not open all of it, and by chance if they open some of your work which is maybe average or not that perfect or not that well done, then your impression just slides down. So pick your best that you think, and attach only those those reports or those graphs or those blog posts or anything of any work that you have done. Only attach the ones, your top 3 or your top 4, not more than that, I would say. This is the most important aspect. Whether not whether if you are applying for a job, especially for a job opening, and are attaching your work, prepare these why questions. For example, in your work you have used a scatter plot or a bar chart. So maybe if I'm the employer, I'll ask that why did you use a bar chart? What is the significance of it? And why not use a line chart or a scatter plot? Why did you choose bar plot in this plot? So you have to be able to explain and defend your work, basically. Let's say I used the Plotly library for creating a graph. I might ask or the interviewer might ask me that, why did you use Plotly? Why not Matplotlib or Seaborn? You need to be prepared. So this is how you will be tested. You need to know the technical stuff also, that you can't just say that I picked it up, uh, you know, just randomly. Then your impression kind of shoots down that, okay, uh, technically this person has not researched that much, or not thought of it that much. So prepare these questions. It can be very basic, such as why did you pick this library instead of this? You need to explain, because let's say my answer could be that Plotly gives an interactive output and the other two don't. So I needed an interactive output in this case to showcase my work better. That's why I did it. So that is one example of how do you answer a why question. So this is, I would say, one of the most important aspects. You need to prepare for this more than theoretical technical knowledge or questions. You need to prepare for technical questions inside your work, right? That why did you choose this analytical method and not this? Why did you choose this graph and not this? Why did you choose this library and not this? So it can be in terms of Python, it can be in terms of statistics, analysis, anything, right? So go through your work, whichever you have attached, list out all the possible questions that you can, why questions, what questions, and all those things, right? That is, I would say, once you apply or before you apply, please do this, because sometimes the interview, you might not get a response to the application. Sometimes it will be like, okay, tomorrow only we can have the interview. We have a quick requirement, urgent requirement, immediate requirement. So then you won't have time to prepare. So prepare a little bit, because it doesn't happen every time that there's an immediate requirement. But be prepared with these why questions. It is very important. And the last part is follow up. Whether a lot of times you won't get a response, or because speaking, from personal experience, an email does get lost in the sea. Things do get missed sometimes. Sometimes it's just opened and someone calls for some work, and it kind of is marked as read, but you have not read it yet, right? So but when you come back, you kind of forget about it. So these things happen. So follow up either in 2 3 days. Give some breathing space. Don't do it every day, or every half a day. Just maybe 2 3 days of a gap, or a week of gap, because they also need time to go through it, especially if it's not a job opening. They might not be even looking at anything seriously. So uh, give them time to find the time, right, to read on your work. So but do follow up gently, that okay, hey, can you send, look into it, and so on and so forth. So that is in terms of application. uh, and keep learning, because that is the only thing uh, that will get you a job. Keep learning, keep doing analysis, keep posting, keep be active in the community, and surely you'll get there. Okay, that's it for this lecture, guys. I'll see you in the next one.